Hey, Homestead Church. This is your Thursday noon devotional, your lunch break live. Wanted to chat with you for a couple of quick minutes about some of the hot button issues that we've been talking about lately. Racial justice has been on everybody's news feeds and social media screens, and we want to say that we stand with our brothers and sisters of color and that we do affirm that Black Lives Matter. Now, if that raises up feelings of you that say, but, hang tight for a couple seconds. I'm going to explain to you why it's good and positive and correct and racially just for us to say this. Because things aren't equal right now. Of course, all lives matter, but right now, we're failing. The systems are failing our brothers and sisters of color. Here's how. Mothers of color that are giving birth are 4 times as likely to die during childbirth than a white person giving birth. That's awful. You're 50% as likely to get a call back on your resume if your name sounds Black versus if you have a name that sounds white or European. That means that my job application will have twice as many callbacks than somebody that has a name that sounds like it's foreign or Black. That's not equal. So what do we do to make these things equal? We can't say right now that all lives matter because it's not equal in our systems right now. And there's laws against discriminating, but these laws aren't changing people's hearts. And that is right now what needs to change, because there is discrimination, there is implicit bias. We just need to make sure that we are standing up for what's right. And what's right is that all people should be treated equally. All of us are God's children, created in God's image, in the image of God, and called good by God. And if one of our brothers or sisters is being treated differently because of the color of their skin, we can't ignore that. We can't turn our backs on that. We do have to stand up for what's right. I know this is a hot button issue, and there's a lot of feelings about it. I just want to make sure that in our hearts and in our actions that Jesus is at the center. Because in the gospel, there's a story of the good shepherd who has 100 sheep, but the one goes missing. So the good shepherd says to the 99, BRB, and he goes and chases down the one and makes sure that that one is safe and well and cared for. And right now, that's what we need to do for our brothers and sisters of color. They are not safe. They are not well cared for. They're more likely to grow up in a single parent home. They're less likely to own a home. They don't have the same employment opportunities if their name sounds Black. There's so much injustice in all of this. And we, as Jesus followers, need to be people of justice and of love. God is love, right? So let's figure out a way that we can show this and embody this in our words, in our actions, in our deeds. Because people, when they hear the word racism, they think of stuff that happened a long time ago. They think of white sheets, they think of burning crosses, they think of lynchings. Sure, that's one form of racism, but how it forms now and how I still feel it rise up in my own chest is when you see a clip of somebody that is on the receiving end of injustice, and then your first thought is, but what did they do to deserve that? Our first reaction is to defend the person that looks like us. And that's just programmed into us. We need to deprogram that and unlearn all of these terrible things that have been programmed into us. It has to do with word choices, where we're the white people with guns protesting to get haircuts. We're called good people. But then peaceful protesters for Black Lives Matter were called thugs. So what do we do? I've started a small group that's of people from the church and unchurched people reading together to work towards racial justice. If you want to join that, that's on our church Facebook page. You can join that. What do? We need to stand up for what's right. We need to work towards racial justice. Because right now there is not racial justice. So I hope that you will join us in this work, that you will help us to love our brothers and sisters and love one another. Because Black lives do matter. See you Sunday.